Ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is scheduled for one fall. Dude, I'm not reading the rest of this. You don't even pay me. Just click your button, start the show.
Alright guys, welcome to the third episode of the Gimmick Table. This is the finale of our launch special. Thank you for joining us. I am Matt. Joe is out of the studio today. With me is our graphic designer. He goes by Bats. So we're letting all you wrestlers, all you promotions, all you podcasts out there, if you guys need any help and you need some logos and you want them done for cheap and a good fair price, get a hold of us at gimmick_table, because we're not going to sit here and try to figure out what his...
No, I can't. It's ALLIHCNIHCALLIK, which is Killa Chinchilla spelled backwards.
I wonder how many times they're going to actually have to rewind that just to tweet you. Anyways, guys, let's do our thank yous, our shout outs. First, Advantage Media Solutions. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the website. Thank you for your advice. You guys have been the people behind the scenes, and without you, none of this would be possible. Also, Tapped Out Podcast Network. Thank you for having me on as a guest. Thank you for giving me time to plug the Gimmick Table. Anything you guys ever need, let us know. We are there for you. Single Leg Takedown Wrestling. That is sltdwrestling.com. They will also be featuring the Gimmick Table episodes. And today we are sponsored by thatwrestlingclub.com, and we are actually going to be giving away Bats one of their cruiserweight boxes.
Oh, what?
Yeah, one of their cruiserweight boxes for our third and final launch contest. Smaller than the heavyweight boxes, doesn't come with one of the authentic t-shirts, but you still get the authentic autograph. And go over to their website, thatwrestlingclub.com. I call that when I mumble my words, that's my Seth Rollins impression. Thatwrestlingclub.com. They have awesome boxes for you. Really good deal. You get authentic t-shirts, authentic autographs, and a lot of other cool stuff that any wrestling fan is going to enjoy. And to find out more about our contest, you just need to go to gimmicktablepod.com, and all the information will be right there. So let's get to our guest today. We're really happy to have him here with us. It is Mr. Everything, Victor Andrews. How you doing today?
I am doing great, and I'm so happy to be here with you guys, and I truly appreciate everything you guys do.
Oh, we totally appreciate you being on this podcast.
Yes, even after, the technical difficulties that we have suffered for the last hour. Thank you for sticking it through with us. Thank you for being a part of our launch. We've talked before. We love what you guys do in the ring, and if we can just give a little bit back to you, get you guys a few more fans out there, show people what you're doing, then we've done our jobs, and that's all we really want to do. So again, thank you for taking time out of your busy life to be here with us this evening.
Hey, most definitely. Thank you.
So we're going to get right into it. As we know, a lot of wrestlers probably at one time in their life started off as fans. So really, what influenced you going back to your childhood to end up to be a professional wrestler?
Well, the biggest thing for me is, enjoying it with my mom growing up. I'm the oldest of four, and my mom would always, make a big extravaganza out of watching the pay-per-views and things like that. She was always a big fan of wrestling. She's still a big fan now. She's a fan of like Tito Santana, Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair, a lot of those guys, Shawn Michaels, and now she's a big fan of like John Cena, The Rock, and growing up, like I said, she made a big extravaganza out of it. She would take us to the store, we get a bunch of snacks whenever the pay-per-views would come around, and if we could afford it, she would have purchase the pay-per-views, and we would all sit around in the living room and watch it. And if we couldn't afford it, she would find somebody to come and zap the box, so we'd watch it for free. So she made it the best out of nothing, and we really appreciated it every time, and I still appreciate it to this day. So I'm still a fan at this moment.
No, that's great. So it sounds like those events were the big events for you.
Yeah. And I mean, we didn't really go nowhere. We didn't have a lot of money to do a lot of things, so that was one of the things we always look forward to, especially WrestleMania. Oh man. Well, I mean, she would go all out for WrestleMania. I'm talking about eat popcorn, candy, and drink sodas all night. And still get ready for school the next day. So, that was the biggest thing.
So something tells me that she could probably school all of us in this room in like some wrestling knowledge and would put all of us to shame. From what you're telling me, she
probably could.
Yeah.
And what's funny is my mom is a wrestling fan all the way through. She knows kind of like the ins and outs of the business now, being at wrestling, and she still gets suspended of belief of reality when it comes to the matches. I mean, she can meet the person I'm wrestling against that night, talk to him, and have fun and everything like that. But when we get in that ring, the first hit that's laid on me, she is livid. She does not play, and she gets the crowd into it, and the crowd gets behind whatever she's doing. And then when the match is over, she go back to shaking, giving him a hug, and telling come on by the house and get you something to eat, stuff like that. So my mom is very funny when it comes to coming to wrestling shows and stuff like that.
I think that's awesome. That has to be such a unique thing to have in your life that, probably your mom is your biggest fan and she actually is appreciating what you're doing because she has such a love for it herself. I think that's awesome. And I would never want to face you with if your mother was there. I would just be like, I'm going to just let you pin me, okay? All right? I really want to come over for dinner.
Well, that's the funny thing. My mom is fine before and after the match. During the match, let's go ahead and take it home as fast as possible because if you cheat or anything like that, she's going to find a way to get in the ring. Now, my 2-year-old son, on the other hand, he just turned 2 last Thursday.
Well, happy birthday to him.
So he's been watching me wrestle. I've been doing it for 8 years. And he's been watching me wrestle ever since he was born. If you meet him before the match happens, he's fine with you. He'll give you 5, all that good stuff. After the match, you would think that you was in the biggest trouble of your life because he would not talk to you. He don't want you to come and give him a 5. He might swing on you. He might go and grab a chair or a belt or something. My son does. He gets it, but he don't get it all the way through. So it's like you put your hands on his daddy, now he got a problem with you.
Especially at that age, because I did start watching when I was really young, and to me it was the realest thing in the world. No matter what anybody told me, I was like, no. I was like, and I would ask my parents, what is he okay? And all these different questions. So I can definitely understand, and that's got to be hilarious to see. He's fine one moment before the match, sees somebody in the ring with you, then afterwards, it's giving him the cold shoulder.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this for 8 years. Where did you start training?
I started training in Union City, New Jersey. I was doing amateur boxing for a good while, and I was doing modeling and acting. And one of the companies I was doing the modeling and acting for in New York, one of the managers there, her name is Lady Lee. She was doing wrestling, and she was helping me help me get linked up with some guys that can help me promote as far as boxing, trying to get me some fights and things like that. And she approached me and she asked me if I was really interested in training for wrestling. I was like, yeah, I watched it as a kid. I like it. So, yeah, let's give it a try. And so she took me down to Ace Pro Wrestling in Union City, Union, New Jersey. I went out there and I started training. And I want to say I was probably like 2 months in. And the first person I meet, as far as like a big name, was Jay Lethal.
Oh, wow.
And, he's originally from New Jersey. And I think he didn't live too far from where we were training at. I think his mom still lives out there. And he walked in the building, and I kind of stood still for a minute. I was like, wow, that's Jay Lethal right there. And so I was like the only guy in there training. So we proceeded with my training, and Jay Lethal, he got in the ring, and he spoke to me, and he spoke to my trainer because he knew who she was, and kind of got some background on me. And then he got in the ring with me, and he started, rolling around with me, just doing some chaining and some little bit of bumps and showing me some different things. And I was blown away by that because I was like, you don't know me from nowhere. I'm just starting out, and for you to take the time out and just, get in here and show me some things and kind of move around with me a little bit, that was big for me. And to this day, Jay Lethal is still that same guy. He was still getting in the ring with whoever it is and moving around with them and chain with them and offer advice. I've gone to different Ring of Honor shows and tryout camp. I've known him for at least 4 years now, on a personal level. And to this day, I can call him up and see how he's doing, and he'll respond and like to my emails when I was sending matches and stuff, and give me feedback and things like that. So yeah, and then once I left New Jersey, I moved down to North Carolina. I started in 2009, and then I moved to North Carolina in 2010, and then I started furthering my training with C.W. Anderson in Wilson Mills, North Carolina. And then, after that, C.W. Anderson, you either become better or you just get out of the business altogether, because that man is phenomenal in his teachings. He's very hands-on, and he's all about safety and doing things the correct way. And, I love that dude. And, I can contact him anytime now and talk to him. And, he's a big fan of Transformers and the sci-fi thing. So we plan to, go to the movies and watch Transformers, or we'll take the wives out and, hang out and things like that. So, that's where I got all my start from.
So tell us, the time between training and your debut, how long was that?
I want to say it's about 6 months. What happened was I was still training, and I went to a show with Lady Lee in New Jersey, and she was booked on the show, and she was working for TMPW out in New Jersey, and somebody didn't show up, and they needed somebody to fill in, and I had no gear, I had nothing. I was just there to kind of see how things work. I haven't even ordered gear by then. I was just there to see how things work, kind of get familiar with who the guys were and who I might be able to have a chance to get in the ring with. And they came up to me and it was like, "Hey, could you work a match?" And I was like, "Who, me? You want me to work a match?"
What?
Sure, because my first instinct is I seen it on TV. I'm starting to train. I should be able to pick up some things. And man, let me tell you, I had no idea. It was as detailed and strenuous as I thought it would be. And once I had my first match, I mean, I've done boxing and things like that. And, a boxer's workout and training is cool, but a wrestler's workout and training is a whole lot different. It's a whole other spectrum of being tired and worn out. And when I had my first match, like I said, I didn't have no gear. So the guys that I was wrestling against, they kind of had some extra gear. So they let me borrow their stuff. And we put on a show, and then I got some advice on how to get better and things like that. So it was fun. And like I said, it only took about 6 months for me to get thrown in the ring.
Yeah, you got thrown to the wolves right away.
Yeah, literally.
Now, looking back, is it something you would have liked to take more time, or would you have kept that experience where maybe you weren't right and ready for the ring, but you still got the experience, got it out of the way, and then you could take that advice and proceed forward with your training?
I think it was the right timing for what they had me do. I wish I'd have started earlier in my life because they say it's the proverbial time clock for which a wrestler can actually make it in this business. I'm 35 years old now, but the way I perceive people, like people don't even realize that I'm 35 when they see me. And when they see me in the ring, they don't even realize that I'm at my age as well because I move as if I was still a teenager or early 20s. And that first experience and how fast I got in the ring, I enjoyed it, and it helped me a lot. It helped me better understand things as far as what needs to be done and how it needs to be done and why I'm doing it. But yeah, I couldn't see myself. I mean, I couldn't see anything wrong with me starting so fast.
Experience is the best teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
Just roll there with the punches, take what you got from it and proceed and grow from it. Really, that's all you can do. You took the leap, and that's awesome that you were able to get in there so quick and do well enough where you continued with it. But kind of elaborate on to us for who is Mr. Everything Victor Andrews?
Mr. Everything Victor Andrews he's a guy that if you get in a ring with him, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have some trouble.
Yes.
If you think you're going to get in a ring and box with me, you're going to have some trouble because you might get knocked out. If you think you're going to get in there and wrestle with me, you're going to have some trouble because I can move and I can get out of any hold or submission, any type, and I can put you in something just as fast as you put me in something. If you want to get in there and do some martial arts, some karate, some kung fu, I can hang with that as well. So Mr. Everything is a dangerous man. The everything part means that whatever it is you bring to the table, I bring 10 times more and just as dangerous. So definitely somebody you don't want to just think you want to have an easy night with. You better have a 5-man group helping you out with different backgrounds and different genres of martial arts because you're going to need it.
Basically, your creative player is maxed out to 99 on every stat.
I'm sorry, say that again.
The great thing is he's been holding this in the whole time that you were talking. You asked basically if you were a creative player, you would be 99 on everything.
Yeah,
and that's just the way.
Yeah, basically.
That's just the way the game comes. Like we can't change that. You try to edit Mr. Everything Victor Andrews, and the game just tells you no, this is not possible.
Yeah. You reach your maximum level. All you can do is keep changing the wrestling gear.
So what are some of your signature moves we can see when you're in the ring?
Oh man, I kind of what I do is I just make up some things as I go along. I have the TSB, which is a tornado spine buster, in which I take a regular spine buster and I keep turning. So when I pick them up, I turn a little while, make them dizzy before they actually take that slam. And give them that whiplash to the neck.
Build up.
I have the triple Samoans, which I'll pick them up on my shoulders and I'll hit a Samoan drop and I'll roll through and pick them up on my shoulders from the ground, stand up, and hit a second one and roll through and hit a third one. And I think, that's kind of an innovative move. I don't think anybody's ever done that.
Oh, I've never seen. I mean, I've watched some of your matches where you did it, but I've never seen it done by anybody else. So it's a very innovative concept, and it's very cool. That's one of the things I really appreciate is people who are innovative with their moves and are constantly trying to do something new, so people aren't seeing the same old thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't even use them every match. I change it up, so that's why I have like so many different, like the TSB. I use that every now and then, and the triple Samoans. I use them every now and then. And then, of course, I use my Boston style, so I use like the Superman punch. And then I also have a running combat punch is what I call it, which I come off the ropes and just run right through you with a big punch to the face. And I have not seen anybody get up from that. In fact, I think there's still one guy still laying wherever I hit him at. Might want to go check up on him.
So we kind of touched on this, the innovation factor. But how do you obviously you don't use every move every time. Do you tease them? And what else do you do to remain fresh in the ring and kind of doing new things that people haven't seen before or haven't seen from you? I
kind of gauge, the audience, and I also gauge who I'm in the ring with. Because you have to change up what you're able to do with who you're in the ring with. If I'm in there with somebody that's 150 pounds, yeah, I can pretty much do anything there is up under the sun.
You just toss
with
them
my
around.
strength ability. If you're above 300 pounds, yeah, I can probably still do it, but not as graceful as I would like to.
I mean,
of course, I can still pick a guy up, but, performing 3 Samoan drops back to back, yeah, I'm not that strong. So, that's where the TSB come into play, because, I can basically lift them up. All it does is, just using my base and things like that. I do the cruiserweight stuff. I do my lucha style. I also work lucha for anybody who comes in with a mask from Mexico or wherever they may come from. And feel as though they're going to flip around and try to dance around me. Nah, I'm moving just as fast and just as agile as you are. And I have my ground game for those who got the amateur wrestling background or the MMA background. And then I have my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style for the guys who think you're going to put me in type of submission holds and don't feel as though I'll be able to get out of them. So, I change it up with whoever I'm in the ring with and basically how the crowd perceives me. If they see me as some kind of tough guy, then I give them a tough guy. I get in there and I go blow for blow with whoever's in the ring with me and I throw punches. If they see me as some little guy who don't have a lot of strength, then that's when I pull out a lot of the bigger moves and the stronger moves, just so to let them know, okay, I might be small in stature, but I pack a lot of power. And then, for the ones who think, oh, I'm just some tall guy who, just going to get in and just wrestle, and I kind of throw in that high-flying stuff and let them know, yeah, I might be tall, but I can move with no problem. So that's how I change up things and how I innovate and kind of reintroduce a lot of different things to the crowd and to my opponents.
So building on that, what is your favorite style to go up against?
My favorite style to go up against, well, I haven't had the chance to yet. And I really want to go up against some UK guys. I really want to see what this British strong style is all about. I really feel like that'll push me. I have what's called the sane blood. A lot of guys that know me call me like a little Goku because I like to get in the ring and challenge different styles and different backgrounds just to push my limits and see how good I can be and how much better I can be. I always tell guys, I don't want to be the best guy out there. I want to wrestle and get in the ring with the guys who say they are the best, so I can be the guy to beat the best. That's my moniker. I'm not the best. I'm the guy that can beat the best. And I want to get in there with some UK guys.
So I'd have to ask them, what would you call the guy who beats the best?
Mr. Everything.
All right, see?
Good answer.
So in the dictionary, I just say Mr. Everything, the guy that beats the best.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just it.
So then, if you're the Goku, who's gonna be your Vegeta?
Well, I have a Vegeta right now. His name is Joseph Agal, and anytime me and this guy get in the ring, whether we're tag partners or opponents, we always push each other's limits. And it's like, every time I've gotten in the ring with this guy, it's been like a step up each time. He stays in the gym, he stays learning, he stays traveling and improving on his in-ring skills. And every time I get in the ring with him, I feel as though I learned something more and I realize how much stronger I can be and how much faster I can be, how better I can think in the ring to keep myself out of danger. So right now, he is my Vegeta.
But you were in a tag team before. It looks like you had a lot of success with First Generation. You guys were 3-time tag team champions. Tell us about your time in First Generation.
Oh, man. We still do tag stuff now. Me and James Anthony, we still do a lot of traveling. We're pushing a lot more with our singles competition. But the way we came up with First Generation, me and him, we were traveling, and we had a wrestling match against each other. One match turned into 2 matches, turned into 3. And before we knew it, we were wrestling against each other for a whole year, everywhere we could go. And it wasn't like, we were doing it on purpose. It was just promoters were seeing it and was contacting us to come and bring our match there. And Steve Carino happened to get a hold of our stuff, and he contacted me, and he said, I noticed that you and James have been, traveling and beating each other up, but I want to know if you guys would be willing to become a tag team and come work for my promotion in Hubert, North Carolina. Yeah, I mean, I'd be crazy to tell him no. It's Steve Carino. And so he comes, and so we got together. We came up with the name First Generation because we're both first generation wrestlers in our family. And we shot to the limits of where as far as we can go with it. It didn't take long. We went out there, we worked for PWF in Hubert. It didn't take long for us to become the PWF Tag Team Champions. I believe we were 3-time PWF Tag Team Champions there. We were 3-time RWC Tag Team Champions out in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and we were traveling all around just competing against different tag teams, and we kind of made a big name for ourselves very fast, and it didn't take very long. We ended up working for Ring of Honor. We worked a match out there against Keith Lee and Shane Taylor,
nice.
And kind of try to do a bunch of different things. But like I said, we ended up doing some single stuff, but we still doing tag team, here and there. Whenever promotions decide to contact us, and whatever availability we have with each other.
Well, that does bring me to my next question, because I did notice, just looking through your match history, that you guys had a loser leaves PWF match in which you won. What's the storyline behind that? How did you guys end up facing each other? Why did one of you have to leave the promotion?
The thing with that was we just lost the tag titles, and it was the new season for the PWF, and they were trying to figure out a new storyline and where to kind of push us, which direction to push us. And so they wanted us to start doing some single stuff at PWF because we had been doing tag team for 2 years there. And I think what it was is I may have, I don't want to say this, but, I may have stepped up my game a little faster than James did, or stepped up a little higher. And they kind of gauged that and was watching like some of the matches and, how the fans reacted to us. And I think the fans kind of grasped on to me a little bit faster and a little bit stronger than James. We were heels when we first started, and we turned into baby faces when we first started working with the Geordie Bulldog. And then from there, the fans kind of latched on to me faster than they latched on to James. And we were going to compete for the Otani Openweight title, which Joseph Argyle was the champion at the time. And I just beat Joe. Well, I just lost to Joe. The previous month before that, I just beat Adam Page. And the story was that James was kind of getting a little upset or a little jealous at the fact that not only did, because what happened was I lost the tag titles for us. He couldn't make it to a show, and I ended up defending the tag titles anyway against the Geordie Bulldogs, and the numbers game got the best of me, and I lost the tag titles. And then from there, we kind of went our separate ways, and he kind of got upset and jealous about it because he felt as though I was getting all the spotlight, and he wasn't getting the same thing. And so he decided that it would be me and him, because he wanted a shot at the Otani title, and that if he beats me, he gets that title shot. But if I beat him, he had to leave town. He would leave the PWF. And I didn't want to take the match because the thing was, we're brothers, we're tag partners. Neither one of us should have to leave on account of, some belt. I told James, I said, well, if you want the belt, you want the title shot, I'll solo match. That ain't no problem. A match is a match, but brotherhood and a family, that's what you keep forever. So like for a whole month, we were going back and forth, and he kept saying, I can't wait for this match, and I'm going to show you that I'm just as good as you are, and yada, yada. And I kept telling him, I'm not doing the match, not doing the match. And I even walked to the ring in my street clothes to let him know, look, I'm not doing this. Like, this is not happening. We're not fighting in front of all our family and all our friends and all our fans because you want a title shot. If you want it that bad, go get it. I encourage you to do it. I mean, you deserve it. Well, needless to say, James didn't take that lightly. He jumped on me. He did everything he could to provoke me to fight him back. And I wouldn't do it until he brought my daughter into it.
Uh-oh.
He grabbed me by the neck and he made me stand right in front of her, and he would slap me and tell her that I was just an embarrassment to her, that I was a chicken, I was scared, that I was had no business, I was a worthless father, and that was it. I mean, that was the line that he needed to pull, and I reacted to it, and ultimately I ended up beating him and sending him on his way, and we made up right after it happened. And I understood, it was heated emotions, and he wanted the title shot, and he wanted the spotlight and things like that. So we made up for it. So that's kind of like the story that what happened.
It all works out in the end.
Yeah, it all worked out. He ended up getting some title opportunities. He hasn't won anything, but he ended up getting some opportunities. I ended up working out a title opportunity for the PWF Mid-Atlantic Masters title, in which Steve Carino was the first champion. He beat Ricky Morton, and then Brutal Bob Evans beat Steve Carino, and then I beat Brutal Bob Evans for the belt, and I still hold it to this day now. I'm going on 7 months now as a PWF Mid-Atlantic Masters champion.
So you've seen success both in singles and tag competition. Kind of describe for us what you prefer, and what do you prefer, and describe kind of the differences between them.
Well, to me, as far as getting signed, I would prefer tag team, only because it's easier to bring in a tag team of two guys who gel together so well already and know how each other work, know each other's style, rather than trying to put two guys together who know nothing about each other and expect them to coincide and look out for each other and watch each other's back. And then, with that, if they decide to break up a tag team and have us do single stuff, that's easier, rather than pulling two guys who are coming in as singles, making them become a tag team and not know nothing about each other. The biggest difference between the two is, with tag team, like I say, you know each other and you can hang out with each other, you train together, your bookings are bigger, and there's not that many tag teams. Well, it's kind of growing again, but for a while wasn't that many tag teams out there, so it's easier to get booking. Where, as a singles competitor, you got millions of wrestlers who wrestle as a singles competitor, and it's hard to try to get a booking somewhere when there's thousands of people that look like you or wrestle like you or do different things that are better than yours, and you're just kind of like waiting for your time and your opportunity. So that was my biggest thing as far as tag team and singles competition.
You've definitely taken advantage of those opportunities.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Every chance we could.
And you've already touched on this recently, winning the Mid-Atlantic Masters Championship. Kind of take us down that road and that experience, winning that title.
Oh, man, I mean, I got contacted about the opportunity when they told me that the title would be coming to the PWF. But they told me I would have to just prove that I should be in contention for it. So, I would go up against a couple of guys. And when the time came, like I said, Steve Carino, he was the first champion. He beat Ricky Morton. And then after that, he lost to Brutal Bob Evans. And then I had the grand opportunity to face Bob Evans for the very first time. And it was a great experience. I mean, Bob Evans is one of those guys you can learn a lot from. He's very humble in everything he does. And I really enjoyed it. And, of course, I beat him. And he gave me my just due praise and seal of approval. And I've been going on, competing and defending it as much as I could. I've beaten Wildman Congo from Ring of Honor. There's a lot of guys who come into the PWF as newbies, is what we call them, looking for a spot there, and I've become like the go-to guy. You got to come through me if you want to get a spot at PWF and show that you deserve to be there. And we had some guys that got the heart and got the determination, but they didn't have enough skill to beat me, and but they were still able to get like certain spots and different things. That's kind of like the road I've been going through right now, and we're on a vacation season right now with PWF, which, we're closed throughout the summer, but we plan to come back September or October for our next show, and I can't wait to see who they're going to put me in the ring with first.
And it sounds like that they have a tremendous amount of trust in you. I mean, 3-time tag team champion, Mid-Atlantic champion, and being the guy that really, if people want to show what they can do, you're the guy that they put them against to see what they really have and what they're capable of doing. And that just must speak volumes to you about what people think of you and how good you actually are.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people I feel like I'm the John Cena of PWF, because for a long time, that was John Cena's role at WWE. You want to show who you are, you got to come through me, and it ain't going to be no easy road. So, I'm honored to be able to, represent a company to that extent and have that type of confidence placed on me.
Yeah, you're like the gatekeeper.
You're the gatekeeper.
With your success, I mean, it's given you some opportunities because you did get an opportunity to wrestle for Ring of Honor. So kind of tell us how that came to fruition.
So I with the name Mr. Everything, I've done everything you could think of. I've been in the military. I've done modeling, acting, group counselor, bus driver, everything. And one of the things I've done is I was a barber. Steve Carino contacted me. He said, "Hey, could you cut my hair in a certain design or style?" I said, "Yeah, sure." Because he was getting prepared for the match with him and DJ Whitmore, the dishonor match. He contacted me and said, "Hey, could you cut a design?" I said, "Sure." So I cut his hair, and I think it was a week before the show was actually happening. So I told him, I said, I would bring my clippers to the show because I'm coming anyway to kind of help out backstage, ring crew, or whatever. And I told him, I said, I would bring my clippers and kind of touch up your hair, just to make sure that it's all sharp and ready to go for TV. He said, great. So we get to the show, and we're standing backstage, and I'm cutting his hair, and a couple of guys started walking up and was like, "Yo, you really like cutting hair?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so like guys like Kenny King and ACH, they came and sat in the chair and get a little edge up, a little touch up on their hair. Kevin Solomon came up, he asked me for a haircut, and I was able to give him one. And then one of the production guys came up and he was like, "Hey man, are you charging to cut hair?" I was like, "No, just helping the boys out." And then he was like, "Well, how much would you charge me for a shape-up?" I said, "Give me a match." And he looked at me and he said, "Are you for real?" I said, "Yeah, give me a match and I'll do whatever you need."
No way.
And that's what happened. And he went and talked to the guys, and they realized that they needed some guys to work a quick match with Keith Lee and Shane Taylor, and they needed somebody to make them look good. So they came to me and said, "Hey, we got you a match. It's not much, but it's for TV." I said, "That's all I asked for, wasn't it? That's all I need. Just let me go out there and do whatever I got to do. Let me make these guys look good. And before I do that, I'm going to make you look good and touch up your hair." And then, I hooked them up real nicely. And then we went out there and we did our thing. And it was the Ring of Honor locker room is so cool and laid back. Like, everybody is so humble and, so welcoming and so congratulatory that a lot of them walked up to the gorilla position and congratulated us before we went to the ring because they know they've seen us, come to the shows, help out, do whatever's asked, grabbing, streamers out of the ring and things like that. So they're very happy to see us get a match. And, they came up to us and said, "Yo, we're happy for you. Just go out there and do your thing. You know what you're supposed to do. You know what they're asking of you. Go out there, and represent yourself and your trainers very well." And that's exactly what we did. And, from that, I got 2 dark matches down in Florida and, just going out to, different tryouts and camps. And then right now I'm just trying to get my name out in the indie world more, prominent before I actually go back to another tryout camp. So that way I can show that I have more to bring to the table. Not in the sense that I can just come out there and make a name for myself through them, but I can go out here and make a name for myself and bring that to them.
Yeah, man, from barber to brawler, just like that.
Yeah. I'm the bumping baller. I'm the bumping barber.
Hey, Mr. Everything, seriously, you got it all.
We got to get somebody to write his lines for him. But I don't know. Not only did you have that success, that takeaway from Ring of Honor, you've also got an opportunity to work with the WWE through their developmental system in NXT. Kind of tell us how that came to be, because that must have been an awesome opportunity.
Oh man, when I got contacted for it, you'd have thought that it was like Christmas in June. I was beside myself. I was sitting exactly where I'm doing now, sitting downstairs watching TV, and I got an email and said, "Hey, send me a bio." And I was like, no problem. So I went ahead and written up a bio. It didn't take about 5 minutes, and I emailed it off. And then I was told to expect an email from the casting guy for NXT. All right, okay, cool. Didn't think anything about it. The very next day, I got the email saying, "Hey, we would like to invite you down to work as an extra for NXT." I said, "Cool. That sounds fun. Let's go out here and see what I can do." Like, get down to Florida, and a friend of mine who helps me with everything as far as traveling, like I said, I've done acting, so he's an independent film producer. His name is Sean Dudley. He helped me drive down to Florida, and we got there, and we walked in the building, and the first conference room that I walked past was a bunch of production people, and Triple H was sitting in there. And the kid in me said, "Oh my gosh, Triple H is in that room. Get your phone, call your mama, take a picture, do it, go in there and shake the man's hand and whatever." Like, the kid in me just went crazy. Like, I didn't know what to do with my inside, but my outside was very cool and calm because, I had to be professional.
Right.
I kept walking, and the very next door that I walked past, to that same room, Shawn Michaels was sitting at the other end of the floor. And I was like, oh my God, yeah. The same way you guys are like, oh my God, yeah. I was like, oh my God, there's Shawn Michaels. I need a pen and paper, and I need to make sure my phone is charged up because I need to take a bunch of pictures because nobody's going to believe it.
I just need you to kick me in the chin real quick.
That's the kid in me. The outside of me is like, all right, stay calm, be professional, act like you've been through it. And I'm standing there, and, you know, the casting guy comes out, and he greets me and 5 other extras. And he said, congratulations, guys. Just find out everybody will be working in some aspect tonight. You all will be on TV. So let's get your paperwork going. And Steve Carino, you know, he's a coach there now, and he's also working with production. And he came out, and he said, hey, Vic, you know, whenever you finish your paperwork, come see me. I'm your agent. Not a problem. He told me what I'll be doing and things like that. He told me I'll be working with Lars and heavy machinery. And I said, okay, cool. You know, I know kind of like the background of what's going on with Lars' story. You know, he gets paired up with a tag partner, and they end up losing the match, and he beats the crap out of the tag partner. I know all that. I'm standing there, and I just finished my paperwork, and the production meeting is over, and Triple H walks out. And he walks by me, and he shakes my hand. And he says, hey, how you doing? I'm Paul. And he shakes everybody's hand. But he's like so into work mode that he doesn't even stop to register me responding to him. He just comes up, shakes your hand, how you doing, I'm Paul, and kept going. And I was like, hi.
He's like all the way down the hall.
I'm Victor. But at this moment, he's already out the building. Like, I'm standing there trying to tell him who I am, and he's already gone out the building.
The lights are off.
He shook everybody's hand and walked up to the go and get things going. And then right after that, Shawn Michaels walks out and says, how you doing, Shawn? And I'm standing there like, hi. Because, you know, it is. You can watch these guys on TV for years and years. I mean, growing up as a kid, you watch them, and then they walk past you and shake your hand as your boss, in a sense, for that one night. That is your boss. And I'm like, wow, this is cool. And so once I kind of got my jitters together and got myself together, we go in the locker room and kind of getting things together with the match. And so I'm standing there, and when I thought a Ring of Honor locker room was so cool and laid back, WWE locker room is just as good. It's not better. Everybody in the NXT locker room is very cool, very laid back, very humble. They all come and speak to you. They don't make you feel like you're out of place. From Bobby Roode to the UK guys, I mean, everybody just likes to laugh and joke and talk to you. You know, of course, they had their moments where they had to be serious and get ready, get prepared. But other than that, they were fortunate. And a funny part of what happened is standing there and I'm talking to Lars and I'm talking to Heavy Machinery, and Ricky Morton walks up. Now, I've known Ricky for years. I've been to seminars. I've wrestled against him. I've taken the legendary double drop kick from him and Robert. Good friends. Can call Ricky anytime I need, just to talk about whatever, life, wrestling, whatever. We were standing there, he's talking to me. He was like, hey, bud, you know, how you been? I'm asking him how his family doing, and we're just sitting there shooting the breeze. And he looks at Heavy Machinery. He looks at me. He said, are you working with these guys tonight? And I was like, yeah. And he looks at Heavy Machinery. He was like, make sure you kill him, okay? And they started laughing. And he was like, no, I'm just joking. You know, this is my bud. You know, we're good friends. And, you know, I love him. And you guys, whatever you ask of him, he'll take care of you. He'll make you look good. Just go out there and take care of him. Just keep him safe. And he walks off. And as he's walking off, he apologizes for just stepping in our conversation. Heavy Machinery is like, oh, no, that's fine. No problem, no problem. And they look at each other and was like, yo, was that like the coolest thing ever? And I was like, what? And it was like, Ricky Morton just spoke to us. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, you know, that's Rick. And it was like, we've never had a chance to talk to Ricky Morton. And I was like, for real? And he was like, yeah, you know, we're kind of, and they were starstruck. Like, they were starstruck for Ricky Morton. The funny thing about that is I was starstruck with them. So I'm looking at them like, oh, wow, these guys are on TV. They're looking at Rick like, oh, wow, this guy is a legend. I'm looking at Rick like, oh, hey, Rick. And everybody just kind of, you know, it was like a weird circle. It was like, you know, like I said, I'm the one that's starstruck with them. They're starstruck with somebody I've been in the ring with. And then we just started kind of laughing about it because everybody's like just realizing, you know, how real and how crazy of a circle, you know, the wrestling business is. And so, you know, fast forward past that, we went and we did the match. And they came up to me and they said, hey, we need you to get ready for a promo. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm thinking Lars is going to be doing this promo. I'll just be walking by. I'll be an innocent bystander. He grabs me and I end up being a partner for the night. No, they told me that I'll be doing doing the promo, and Lawrence is going to come in at the end of it. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I mean, if that's what y'all want to do, who am I to argue? That's more time on TV for me. Exactly. And I've never been here. So, cool. I ain't going to argue with you. So that was a big thing for me, man. I was so excited from the time I got there to the time it aired. I was just all kinds of beside myself. I was just so hyped and excited. My family was so happy for me. And, man, I can't wait to get another opportunity to go back out there because it was so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you really enjoy getting put on the spot.
Yeah, I do. I think it makes me listen to another level because it's last minute and makes me realize what I'm capable of doing and what I'm not capable of doing.
Gives you that different kind of focus.
Yes, definitely.
And you never miss an experience because you're willing. It doesn't seem like the word no is in your vocabulary at all.
Nah. I mean, I'm just saying it now, but I try not to miss no opportunities or any experiences. I mean, I go to different seminars and tryouts and, camps and things like that just to get better. And like I said, I don't miss out on every opportunity because any door that stands in front of me, I'm going to figure out a way to open it, and I'm going to walk through it. And I've never been in an environment where I was out of place because I always make any opportunity in every environment my own. And I make it to where it fits for me. And, it all works out in the best way in my favor. So, I don't miss out on anything.
Yeah, and I apologize for the phrasing of my question that made you say no. From your personal level, you got a lot of friends in the business, obviously. Who's been the most influential person in the business to you on a personal level?
Steve Carino and Steve Anderson. I mean, those are my top two. Anytime I need advice or just need to send a match or something like that, they're always there. It's never a situation where if I text them or email them, it takes days and weeks to get a response. It's right then and there. They always tell me, CW, he's like the dad of the equation. He tells me when I'm being a knucklehead. Whenever I go to places, promotions and things like that, they contact him and let them know if I've done good or, he keeps tabs in a sense. Steve Carino, he contacts me every now and then and tells me, send me matches, send me this, send me that. I want to see this. I want to know what you're doing and things like that. And I want to see if, you need help with this, if you need some advice on how to do this better. Hey, I learned something new from WWE at the PC Center. Let me show you this, and you go out there and try it and see how it works out and things like that. So those two guys are the biggest influences right now in my career in the wrestling business.
So now, solely from a fan perspective, going back through your entire life, what wrestler was the most influential to you as you being a fan?
Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, and Bret Hart as well. Those guys. Shawn Michaels this guy. He was just something. He was awesome. And everything he did in the ring. He's a very religious guy. He believes strongly in God, and that's one of the big things that always got to me with him. The Undertaker, of course. He was very innovative in everything he did. He's so easy to evolve and stick with the times and never became irrelevant. He always stayed relevant in everything he did. And Bret Hart's another one who, anytime he stepped in the ring, you paid attention to what he was going to do. And those three right there would be on my Mount Rushmore.
You'd be the fourth face on that Mount Rushmore.
Oh, no. I got a long way to go before I'm on anybody's Mount Rushmore. I'd be the one make sure that the gravel and stays clean and nobody's nose falls off. That would be me.
Well, I was actually going to say, as Mr. Everything, you'd probably be the guy who sculpted it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure that you have some lines written up for you and some actual good jokes throughout.
Get him a creative writer.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to start a Patreon account just for that. Get Bat some jokes.
Well, I've written films, so if you guys need a writer as well, let me know.
We'll trade you logos for creative lines. So, out of all the matches you've competed in, what is your favorite?
I would say my favorite match, for good reason, would be the match I had with C.W. Anderson. And because it was a student versus teacher match, it was Japanese strong style. It's based on Japanese custom and tradition. And he's been very big on that. The things that these kids is a very big thing. It's very ceremonious. I mean, they go through tons of crap and beatings and trainings and everything before they even get their first kick pass, before they even get their gear. Like, they have to wrestle against their teacher in front of, thousands just to be able to get their first set of gear. And what they go through is such a big deal. I mean, we take it for granted here in America because you can just link up with somebody and say, hey, I want to become a professional wrestler, pay you a little money, and then, that's it. But they go through an extreme amount of pain just to, get their first set of kick pass. And like I said, we take it for granted here. I've been wrestling for some years, and I felt as though I wasn't getting the matches that I deserved. I felt as though I was on the level of a C.W. Anderson or Caprice Coleman or, whoever as far as the big names are. And when I got in the ring with C.W., from the first chop that started the match, I was like, yeah, this is nothing what I was expecting. Talk about pain. I mean, the first thing we did in the match is he threw me in the corner and gave me a chop across the chest, and I was looking for the exit. I was ready to go home because, like, if he hit me like that again, I don't know if this is going to go the way we planned. I might end up swinging and throwing some punches. That hurt. That hurt, and I don't want to take another one. And I was trying to get out of the corner, but he grabbed me, threw me back in there, and gave me a second one. And the only thing I could think of was to throw some chops back, and I got my butt whooped. I got toe up. He let me know that it's real when you get in the ring with C.W. Anderson. And I learned that not only am I not ready for that level, I was not ready cardio-wise, and I was not ready skill-wise in the wrestling set. So it humbled me a lot and made me realize what I needed to do to make myself better and which direction I needed to go. And I think if I didn't have that experience, I wouldn't be where I am today. So that is my most favorite match because it made Mr. Everything a better Mr. Everything.
Well, that sounds like good. Now let's talk about a dream match. Now, out of every active wrestler currently out there, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, WWE, who's the guy that you want to get in the ring with?
Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal.
I want to get in there with Jay Lethal. I mean, the way this man thinks, the way he puts matches together, the way he performs in the ring is just pretty much second to none. I mean, this guy's psychology and how he does things and his work ethic and his cardio and every aspect of Jay Lethal is just so great. And not because I know him and we're friends, but just watching him as he grew in the business from Mr. Machismo and all the different things that he's done. I mean, this guy is awesome. He does not get the credit that he deserves, and that's what I want to test my abilities with Jay Lethal.
Oh no, he is. I mean, he's been in the business forever, and when I watch him, he hasn't even lost a step. Yeah,
and he just keeps growing. I mean, he just keeps getting better and better. And you would think that, and what's funny is I'm older than he is. I'm 35, and I think he's 33, 34. And so, to be able to get in the ring with him and learn some things and just show that age ain't nothing but a number and ability is more of, is louder than anything else. So I just want to be able to get in the ring with him and show that I have the ability to stand toe-to-toe with, because I feel like he is the best. He is the best in the world. And, I want to show that I am the man that I say I am. I'm the one that can beat the best.
I will say he does have the best stunner in the business. That is one of my...
Yeah, that lethal injection?
Yes. Yeah. One of my favorite moves to watch. The way he hits that, and it is a great move that takes a lot of skill, and he performs it flawless all the time.
Yeah, and it doesn't even matter how long the match goes and how many times he's worked in a night and what he's done the night before. He hits it just as good every single night. I mean, it takes a lot to do a jumping handstand, bounce off the rope, and then come out with a stunner each time and not land on your neck.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah, don't want to do that.
So you debuted back in 2009. You've been doing it for a while. You've obviously had the luck of having a lot of good minds of the business around you. So what advice would you give to somebody who wants to become a professional wrestler?
Take it serious. Take it very serious, and just stay as humble and quiet as you can. Take your time. I think a lot of guys now who go to train, their mindset is, oh, I want to wrestle, ready to wrestle, ready to wrestle, ready to wrestle. Don't rush, because that bump number is a real thing. The more you bump, the worse your body's going to get. And everyone wants to do this for as long as they can. So why rush trying to get in there and first of all, not being ready, run the risk of either injuring yourself or someone else. And if you do that, we injure someone else, you're taking away from their family, you're taking away from their livelihood and their business and their jobs and things like that. So you don't want to do that. So take your time. Take it serious, because this is nothing to play with. I've broken my hand twice from stupid things, from somebody taking a drop kick from me and landing on my hand. I still haven't figured that out. I don't know how you take a drop kick and land on somebody else's hand. Don't know, whatever. But just take your time, go out there, listen to everything everybody's telling you, take their advice. If you don't like what they're saying, whatever. Take the advice, use it, apply it, and just, do everything correctly. I mean, that's all I can really say about that, because other than that, they'll just be going one ear and out the other, because, you tell people a little bit too much, they feel like you just, preaching to them or, trying to lecture them. But, this is serious. Wrestling is nothing to play with. You mess around, you hurt somebody. That's the biggest thing. Like, CW always pushes on that. It's safety. You go out there and you hurt somebody, first of all, who's going to want to get in the ring with you ever again? And whoever does get in the ring with you, their mindset is probably going to be to hurt you before you hurt them. And then you got a problem with your hands. Now you're a target for the real tough guys out there. So go out there, take your time, listen to your trainers, wrestle within your training, and just be humble. That's my advice to them.
Solid advice.
That's great advice. I think it's probably got to be important to understand why you have to be able to accept criticism and advice from people who have been in the business longer than you, who have experience in and out of the ring. That's where you're going to learn. Everybody can tell you you're great, but if you're not getting the criticism, if you don't know what you're doing wrong, then somebody's life, or career could be in jeopardy.
Yeah, and their livelihood. That's the biggest thing, is our lives are in each other's hands. So you make a mistake and somebody lands on your neck, are you going to sit by their bedside and make sure they get their food? Are you going to wash their body? No, you're not. You're not going to go home with them. You're going to go wherever your next destination is, and you're going to go about your business. And you might see them again, you might not. But why would you want to walk around with that on your conscience? Exactly. Like, you have to be inhuman to accept something like that.
And when can we see you getting in the squared circle again?
This weekend, I'm going to Pennsylvania, so I'm going to Hazleton, Pennsylvania. I will be at the Sanctuary tomorrow, and on Saturday, I will be at PPW in Hazleton, Pennsylvania. And then next week, I will be back in North Carolina at Edge Pro Wrestling. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there, because I think I can say something now. July 31st, I will be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, preparing for Monday Night Raw. I'm not sure in what aspect I will be there for, but I will be in the building. And then on August 1st, I will be in Cleveland, Ohio for Tuesday Night SmackDown. So there's a good chance you guys might see me on live TV again.
Oh, well, we will definitely be looking for that.
And we really hope, we've kind of, again, we've talked about how we feel about you guys and what you do. And I really hope that whatever the opportunity is on Raw, whatever the opportunity is on SmackDown, from this conversation alone, I know you're going to take full advantage of it, whatever they throw at you. And I wish you all the best with it. I hope it goes better than anybody, myself, Bats, you can expect it to go.
Me too, brother. I'm so excited. It's such a blessing to never have these different opportunities and capitalize on it. And that's what I plan to do, is whatever they ask me to do, I'm going to make it look phenomenal as possible and run with it.
Well, you will be it is hard for me sometimes to watch Raw and SmackDown just because of how long it is and with my work schedule. But I will be tuning in those days with my fingers crossed that they give you something that you deserve.
I appreciate it, man. I truly appreciate that.
You're welcome. And now we're going to get a little unhinged. So we kind of talked about this earlier in our conversation. MMA fighters, Dan Severn, Ken Shamrock, they both entered into the squared circle. We've seen Brock Lesnar go to MMA, vice versa. There are some good MMA stars out there that have the mouths that probably would make them wonderful at cutting promos, and obviously they probably got some of the intangibles needed to get into the squared circle. We're going to ask you a couple different stars here and kind of tell us what you think their gimmick would be. So let's start off probably with the most popular MMA fighter right now, Conor McGregor.
CM Punk. He would be another CM Punk, in my opinion.
Now, speaking of Punk, you think we're ever going to see him again? I got to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think he's making a return. I mean, if you think about it, man, yeah, whatever happened between them, we wasn't there. It's all speculations of hearsay. They've had Alberto Del Rio. We all heard of things that he said or done. They've got back now Drew McIntyre, and we've all heard things that he said or may have done. We got Brian Kendrick. So this is not a company to where they're not going to give you another chance. And I think CM Punk will be that. Oh snap! I can't believe that they brought him back. And if they bring him back in the right time, it's gotta be timing with that, because you bring him back now, he's gonna outshine everybody, and I'm not serious, mean everybody. I think he's gonna overshadow everybody on the roster right now. So it's all about timing. I think with the right timing, it'll benefit everybody involved, including CM Punk, and the wrestling world will erupt in tremendously. So yeah, he's coming.
So we're getting a little off topic here, but I got to ask now: who's the one guy that could go toe to toe with Punk who would shine just as bright as him?
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens, that would be a great match right there. Great match.
Yeah, because I mean those two are in a sense, Kevin Owens is the CM Punk of right now. He gets out there, he cuts his promos, and it's like you stop what you're doing and you listen to what he's saying, because you don't know if he's shooting or he's just working. Sometimes you just don't know, unless he ends up stuttering or something. Then you realize, okay, this is a work. Kevin Owens can get out there and say some stuff, and you be like, okay, I don't think that was scripted. I think he's really saying some real stuff. And then, CM Punk had that same ability and that same mentality. It's like he go out there and he just says some things that make you be like, yeah, this is not scripted. This is like full-fledged, all the way Phil Brooks type deal. So, yeah, CM Punk and Kevin Owens, yeah, I think those be the two. They go back and forth and then put on some phenomenal matches.
I agree 100%. Now, this guy probably was the biggest talker in MMA's history. He basically sold himself into a fight against Anderson Silva, and that is Chael Sonnen.
Is he the one that actually beat Anderson Silva?
He's the guy who beat him for the 5 rounds. I'm going to punch a hole through Anderson Silva's face, literally punches a hole through his face. It's that 5th round. He's got him on the ground. He locks in the guillotine choke, or not guillotine, a triangle choke, onto him, and he taps with like a minute left in the match.
Oh, goodness. Steve Austin. I would say he'd be a new age Steve Austin.
I could see it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, he would definitely slam some beers together and pour them over his face.
All right, we got to get the females involved. Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey, we're going as Ronda Rousey. I mean, there's no way to even change her. I mean, she's just going there, and whoever gets in her way, Godspeed. I can see her getting in a ring with right now in a female division. I can see her going a good match with. Let's see who we got. I think her and Nia Jax will put on a good match. Only because Nia is the biggest woman in the female division. Ronda would be like the most toughest, and I think with that clash of different styles and backgrounds, I think they'll put on a real good match. I mean, Nia has done some great stuff with Sasha Banks. I mean, and it's unexpected. It's like, oh wow, I didn't think this big girl would actually get in there and could go. So I think Nia and Ronda Rousey would be a good match.
Yeah, I would say Becky Lynch, just so we could have the battle of the arm bars.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't do Ronda and Nia or Ronda and Becky, you're going to do Ronda and somebody on the men's division. I mean, that's only her only other choice.
She's going to go
Nothing
China.
against the other ladies, but I think because of her background with MMA and stuff like that, she would have no choice but to fight one of the guys.
Yeah, and I mean, they've done it before with China. She was the Intercontinental Champion, beating Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think they were going to go that route with Beth Phoenix, but it just didn't pan out that way. I mean, they got close to it when she beat Great Khali in that Royal Rumble. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
All right, let's go to a legend, Chuck Liddell.
Chuck Liddell. Oh, man. I want to change my answer. I want to say he would be a Stone Cold.
See, I see the Road Warriors with him.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, I don't really see him wanting to put any paint on his face. Well,
I don't know, maybe even like a Triple H.
Hey, this is a tough one. I think Chuck Liddell would be Chuck Liddell. I think he'd be the guy that Vince and them just can't control. He would be like that hitman. Yeah, he would be a hitman for the new evolution or something like that.
Just coming through and hitting everybody with a counterpunch.
Yeah, that's it. Like, he would just come out. Like, if you went out there and you took too long on a match or you wasted some money on TV, he would be the guy. Because you know how they used to say Big Show would come out? If Big Show came out and he went directly to somebody, like when Randy Orton did something, and it was him and Sheamus in the ring, he just picked up Sheamus, threw him out the way, but he beat the crap out of Randy Orton for like good 3 to 5 minutes. That would be Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell would be the guy that if you did something that you wasn't supposed to do on TV, he would come out, he would beat the crap out of you in front of everybody, and that would be it.
Nice. All right, let's get a tag team in there. We got the Diaz boys, Nate and Nick Diaz.
Maybe the Steiners?
I could see the Usos too, especially with the new Usos gimmick.
The new Usos, definitely.
I'll say the Usos as far as, yeah. We can definitely go with the Usos because their in-ring stuff is different too. They're a little more ratchet than what they used to be. So it's like that life type mentality.
I like that they're more aggressive now than they were before. It's nice to see, you know.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's what they needed. I mean, when it first came out, their gimmick was, it was good. It was different and it worked for them. But I think they have their own light. Like they're not following behind, the head shrinkers or, Rikishi, anybody like that. They got their own, their own footsteps, their own path, and, you can't take that from them. And you can't say, oh, yeah, they're copying off of these people or they're following behind their families, footsteps. Now they kind of got their own little spot, and it's working for them. So whoever else does it after them, they'll say, "Oh yeah, that's a new age Usos." You can't say that the Usos are the new age anybody because they got their own little thing.
Yeah, and you can definitely, there's only so much you can be really good at a gimmick, but if it's a gimmick people have seen 100 times, there's only so much you're going to be able to do with it. So many times you can reinvent it. Where when you can be yourselves, kind of like if you see like what the New Day has done with what they were given, or even the Fashion Police, they've ran with it and they've done so much because it is something new, it is something creative, and it's part of them.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of things. That's the biggest thing that people don't understand is with gimmicks. If it doesn't get over, the only thing creative can do is create something for you. That's what their job title is creative. It's your job to sell it. And if you can't sell it, what are they going to do? You sit at the back collecting their paycheck. And the New Day, they went out there and now they ain't just collecting paychecks. They making paychecks for everybody else, if you ask me, because they're out selling John Cena in merchandise. Yeah. I mean, wrestlers, you can say, past, present, that can say that they've outsold John Cena in merchandise.
There's not many
variants. And the Usos, New Day has done that.
I think Austin's still the #1 seller of all time.
Yeah.
So, if you outsell John Cena and the only guy above you is Stone Cold Steve Austin, you've done pretty well for yourself in regards to marketing and merchandising.
Exactly. I mean, these guys got cereal.
For $12.
Yeah.
and how old? I mean, some of it's got to be because it's sold at FYE, so some of that stuff's got to be old.
But it's like those Flutie Flakes from back in the day. You don't eat them. You put the box on top of a shelf somewhere and hope you get it autographed one day.
No, I would eat my bootios.
Yeah, hold it. No ants or no roaches get in it.
No, you got to eat your bootios, dude. They tell you every time that you have to eat your bootios. All right, the last one that we're going to go unhinged on here, John Jones.
Oh, hometown hero.
John Jones. Remind me who he is. I don't really
Oh, boy. All right, UFC light heavyweight champion who crashed into a pregnant woman van and then fled from the scene.
Yeah.
Like we said, hometown hero.
Yeah. I got nothing. What would you think?
Oh.
I'm gonna give him Roman Reigns. Matt like though.
Well, I would actually give I'd give Roman Reigns to Danielle Cormier because Because poor Daniel Cormier is just going out there being the good guy and everybody hates him.
Yeah.
And then everybody loves John Jones. So I guess John Jones would kind of be like probably like a Seth Rollins. Because if you remember when Seth Rollins returned, you know, he was a heel and he comes back and everybody's like, oh, we missed you so much, Seth. Yay. And now he's a face.
And then he was still a heel.
Yeah. Everybody loved him no matter what he did at that point.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
That's all we have for the Unhinged, and this was a lot of fun tonight. It was really fun listening to what you had to say, your perspective and your take being a professional wrestler, and we really learned a lot today. It was a really cool experience for us. We can't wait to see what you're going to do out there, especially with, you know, those opportunities on Raw and SmackDown, which is awesome, and we will be rooting for you.
You actually understood some of my horrible references, so that was nice.
Well, I got a quick question for you guys.
All right.
And this is a little, you know, it's time to put you guys in the hot seat. So, you know, after everything that I've said, you know, about my background and some of the matches you guys have watched, what would you say would be a challenge for me in a ring? Who would you say would be a challenge for me in this day and age right now that you would like to see me get in a ring with and say, yeah, Victor Andrews is who he said he is just from that match?
Well, I think we both have two guys that are very familiar with one another, and this guy is my favorite right now, Kenny Omega.
Yeah. You are my new favorite friend right there. You are my new favorite friend. All right, Matt, what you got?
Oh, I was gonna say Kenny Omega.
Oh, well, I thought you were doing the AJ Styles glove hands.
No.
That's why I said.
I would like to see you beat AJ Styles up. That would be fun.
Oh God.
You want to see?
So
Hey, that'll be cool.
he doesn't like the glove.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the gloves.
I despise AJ Styles purely because of those gloves.
Why?
Because he just won't take them off, man.
Well, you know why he wears the gloves, right?
No, I don't.
Because he has small fingers.
Is that true?
Like legit, he has real small fingers. It's like little small Vienna sausages. Like nothing against AJ Styles, he's real cool. I've hung out with him and his kids at a show. Hey, AJ, if you're listening to this, it's me, the guy that was security for you that one time at Ring of Honor. He's real cool, but he has real small fingers. And it was like when I shook his hand, I was like, oh my God, I think I just swallowed AJ Styles' hand because I wrapped my whole hand around his 5 fingers, and it was like, oh my, wow.
It still doesn't make me feel bad.
It's like shaking Floyd Mayweather's hand. You know, he has small hands, but you know, you get hit with it, it's like, oh, you want to hit me in the face with a little pebble. So that's why he wears the gloves, because it kind of makes them, you know, look bigger than what they are.
Well, that actually kind of goes with his theory, because he actually just believed that AJ Styles didn't have any hands underneath the gloves. He thought they were like invisible or something, and they were just there to.
This is prosthetic hands, right?
No, like Ghost Dad. Like he took the glove off and he doesn't have a hand there.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so yeah, if you could beat him up for me, I would definitely watch that.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
right,
now, if I can't beat him up, you know, don't be mad at me. As long as I try, right? As long
as you put a little hurting on him, I'll be cool with that.
If you get the gloves off, I think he'll be happy.
Oh, if you could get a glove off, man.
That would be it. I think that'd be the highlight. I think that will bring back talking smack just for that moment.
That would be, even if it's not even your match, and you just get in there and just rip the glove off and run away with it, I'm good with that.
I think that's on the lines of ripping off the luchador's mask. It's like that's one of the things you just don't do.
You don't touch AJ Styles' gloves.
Yeah.
But yeah, you versus Kenny Omega, I would like to see anybody against Kenny Omega who can hang with him. I mean, he is, to me, the most innovative guy in the New Japan Pro Wrestling. Wow. This is what happens when it's 12:40 in the morning. I just start blending everything together. But I think what he's doing, especially with like the merchandising that him and the Elite have done to kind of show that you don't always need the big company behind you. If you have the fans, if you are putting out a good product, especially all the stuff that they do on social media with being the Elite, that it can be done and you don't always need to have the big company backing you. And I think he's showing that there's other ways that things can be done, kind of the same way that the NWO, Kevin Nash, Steve, and Scott Hall pretty much, got the wrestlers paid in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up here on the Gimmick Table. Victor, thank you for being our guest. We had such an amazing time with you, and we definitely look forward to having you on the show in the future, kind of catch up with you, see how things have been going. And thank you again. I can't say it enough. We appreciate you so much being a part of this launch.
Yeah, thank you, dude.
No. Thank you guys. Because like I said, you guys are our mouthpieces. You guys are getting us out there. You are advertising, our marketing, and you guys don't get the gratitude you deserve. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Anybody that's listening to this podcast, listen to every single show. That's what helps these guys. And can send them feedback. Let them know what you like, what you don't like, because that's what makes them better. It's like us wrestlers. You tell us what we like, what you don't like, and, things that we can do better and things that we can do different to make us look better. Hey, we take those advices, so definitely give it to these guys, and I truly appreciate you.
And you're welcome. And yeah, definitely, anybody out there listening, we take criticism perfectly fine. We definitely want to make the show as best as possible. We want to make it great for you guys. We want to give the wrestlers a good place to come, feel comfortable, have a good conversation like we had tonight. And next week, we got a local boy coming on.
Oh, yeah, my buddy from high school.
Yep, George Gatton, wrestling down in CZW over in Ohio. So definitely excited for that. Victor, thank you again for being on the show, and thank you for everybody out there listening.